Zach, you ready? Everybody else okay? All right. Coach Thiesse, opening statement.
I'm struggling to find the words right now. I just keep looking at my staff and, like, is this real life? Like, we're here on a big stage with big moments, and, you know, I just think it's so fitting that we could see so many gritty moments from such a gritty basketball team. And the resiliency that we've talked about this season, it's come full circle. You know, you could find a million moments with, you know, Destiny Bursch coming out there injured, finding the toughness to just will herself to be a presence on the floor. She's obviously a big part of what we do all the time, and she found a way to give a different spark and a different role today. And that's just an example of what this basketball team is about. You know, again, Emilee Herzberg on that final play, you know, it could have been very easy to get caught up in the missed free throws or the what ifs from previous, and we've learned so much this season about not allowing ourselves to get caught up in the what ifs or in the past, and instead just the resiliency of this next moment. And just on and on. We just pulled out so many examples in the locker room with the team of just the grit and the heart and the fight in this team. And I'm just overjoyed that this wonderful group of women came together the way they have throughout this season, and they get a chance to play in the national championship.
Questions for the players?
Emily, I guess I'll ask the million-dollar question. What was going through your mind on that final play? What set it up, and give your thoughts.
Well, we kind of knew that they were probably going to be looking to double like Joey or Nat coming off of that. And my inbounder was sagging off the ball, so we've practiced that scenario 100 times in practice. And knowing that if someone else gets the ball, then I got to be ready to make the next play. And Nat did a great job keeping her head up and hitting me in stride and giving me a pretty easy layup to make it. So it was just I got the ball at that time, and the team had so much confidence in me to make those shots.
For both of you, you were able to disrupt the offensive flow for Cal State San Marcos, forcing 27 turnovers. What was your game plan going into that?
Yeah, kind of just take them out of their rhythm, honestly. We created a lot of havoc on the defensive end, and kind of just to get them out of their flow, not something that they're not used to doing, and kind of just going off of that and playing off of each other.
Natalie, I'll get this to you. Several clutch buckets there in that second half. Just talk about your game tonight, what you were feeling out there on the floor.
I'm feeling pretty confident, but that's only because my teammates have so much trust and confidence in me, and they build that confidence in me. I give credit to our bench. They were incredible tonight, just hyping us up the entire time. There was never a dull moment with them, and my teammates are just one to thank for that.
For the players, can you just talk about the play that set up the final play on defense, the kick ball, and kind of what happened there and how you were able to
Yeah, Han made a great play. She kept her hands wide, and she just made them make their mistakes, and that's kind of what we pride ourselves on our defense in general. And Coach reminded us about 3 minutes in that we were starting to stray away from our defense a little bit, our defensive principles, and I think that was just a gritty play by Hannah to just, you know, keep playing off each other, keep her confidence in herself and her defense and her length, and I mean, it forced them into a turnover, and that's what we try to do the whole freaking game.
Natalie, can you talk about the next man up mentality? You know, bench was shaken up a little bit tonight, had to make some unique rotations off the bench. Just talk about the shots some of the bench players made and the contributions they made to this game.
Yeah, honestly, Kenzie was huge for us tonight in that three-pointer. And kind of just the confidence that our bench has coming off onto the floor. We can sub 5 for 5, honestly, and it would feel the exact same out there. And it's awesome to have that confidence in the entire team to bring something to the court.
Got time for one more question? Anyone? Okay. Thank you, and congratulations on a great game.
Thank you.
All right, questions for Coach.
Coach, probably not the way you saw it playing out as the game went on. Just talk a little bit about the resiliency this team had and the grit that they had down the stretch and making some really big defensive stops along that way.
Yeah, outstanding resiliency. We were pretty accustomed to being able to force turnovers in the backcourt. And we weren't really getting a lot of that early in the game, but, we talked about, we were still getting the turnovers in our half-court defense. And just to be reminded that sometimes that gritty half-court defense is equally as important as trying to get that $1 million hype steal in the backcourt. And I think that just set us up to continue to rely on our half-court defense to be able to make a couple big stops like we did down the stretch. But, certainly, Em just kind of referred to it there of just reminding ourselves, like, we are a go-for-it team. And we are a team that, it has the confidence to be playmakers out here. And you could see that confidence starting to crank up in that full court pressure. We were getting some deflections. We made some big steals down the stretch to be able to get that momentum back in our favor and just to start to kind of ride that emotion and that just that hype energy out there. And I think that just shows a ton of resiliency, a ton of credit to San Marcos again they had 27 turnovers and you wouldn't have known it. They never dropped their head. They never gave up that fight. They found a way to continue to stay in the game. And that's an incredible basketball team. What a great game.
Coach, I want to lean in a little bit more to what you were talking about with the grit of this team and kind of going back to the early parts of this season in this building where you got off to a little bit of a rough start. Was that something that you kind of talked to your team, hey, we're going to have a chance to be right back there in March, and now here you are getting ready to play for a national championship? Is that something that you put in front of them?
Yes, 100%. Yep. We scheduled a very difficult non-conference schedule to prepare us for these moments. We did come out short, early in the season. I think we started 2-4. In the start of the season against really tough teams, and we just kept talking about, like, that's good for us. That's our measuring stick. There's going to be a moment where we learn a lot from this. And, we just talked in the locker room, the full circle of all of this, starting 2-4, we've now avenged 3 of those 4 losses. And the 4th one is the team that we play in the national championship on Friday. And, how incredibly blessed we are to be in this situation, to see that full circle come back together. And this team is just jacked for another opportunity to just be at our best and be together doing what we do.
Coach, with Destiny being injured like she is and not knowing what you get offensively, you need somebody to pick it up. And I can't think of a better way for somebody to join the 1,000-point club like Natalie Bremer did tonight with the career high. Talk a little bit about her game and the confidence. Every time that shot went in, you just saw more and more confidence building off of her. She had that swagger tonight that she wanted the ball in her hands.
That's a sophomore. That's incredible. There's nobody that hypes her up more than Destiny. Those two are just, thick as thieves. You could just see, Dee just pouring that confidence into Nat, and Nat just played so free and loose out there. And 100%. The confidence, the composure. Again, she quite honestly could have just said, hey, this is my time. I know my team needs me in 3 seconds to go in the game, and I need to go make this. And instead, the composure, the awareness, the confidence to be able to find a teammate in that gritty position right there. I can't say enough about this team and how they have that faith in each other, but the confidence that they have in themselves to be playmakers. And that's just our leadership. That's our leadership. That's a tough team.
Just fast, you were a 7 seed going to the regional. Just talk about that and where you are now.
Yeah, again, I think it can be easy to get a chip on your shoulder in those moments. And we really talked a lot this year about outside noise and how that can just become a distraction. And sometimes outside noise is positive noise, like, oh, you guys are on a great win streak, and, oh, you're moving up the rankings nationally. And some of that can be positive, but it's still distraction. And, we really came together at about the midpoint of the season and just said, none of that matters. None of that matters. We just want to keep getting better. We want to keep pouring into each other. We just want to stay present in every moment that we have to be together. And, certainly we were disappointed in a 7 seed. We knew we were peaking. We were playing really well. We had a ton of mojo. And as much as anything, we just know the Northern Sun Conference is an incredible conference. And we were just maybe a little disappointed that our conference hadn't earned enough respect, in the region and nationally. I think it was a little bit of the chip of like, let's go represent this conference. But we only do that by doing what we do. I guess to the committee's defense and all those kind of things, we didn't take care of business back in November, and that's kind of why we positioned ourselves where we were in that moment, I suppose.
Coach, thank you for your time, and we'll see you Friday.
You got it. Thank you guys so much.